We are back on Kind of Sound with friend of the show, Madan Mohan. Haribo. How are you?
Haribol, Haribol. Yeah, very good, Charles. Yeah, thank you.
Now, before we get into the topic of conversation, you have a very esteemed visitor coming to you soon. Just tell the Kind of Sounds a little bit about this.
Well, I rate him as the world leader of the Hare Krishnas. They've had legendary leaders. The Hare Krishna movement was brought over to the West 1965 by Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and he was a penniless monk from India. He arrived in New York. In 12 years, he wrote 84 books, and he gathered about something between 5 and 10,000 disciples worldwide, opened over 100 temples. And just while he was still here, he left in 77. By 1977, his disciples had helped him produce, print, and distribute 55 million books. So his International Society for Krishna Consciousness became the biggest distributor of transcendental literature from, India. Phenomenal what he did. And my spiritual master followed after him. He started traveling the world in 1995. Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj. And I had the privilege of traveling with him, not all the time, but sometimes. He traveled the world 30 times between 1996 and 2010. And I had the privilege I was initiated by him in January 92. So I had 19 years of basically following this extraordinary transcendental personality. When you chant Hare Krishna, it's a call to God. And if you really want to know him and you're really sincere, he actually appears in the form of his perfect son or daughter,
Yeah.
many, many guides, many, many gurus. Anyway, the old adage is when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So I met my teacher in 1991, and he started teaching me, and he was extraordinary. I mean, I was raised Baptist, and everything that I would have wanted Jesus to be, say, do, or achieve was done, said, and
Mm.
achieved by my spiritual master. He left in 2010. Now he trained many, many people. He initiated so many people. I think it went into the hundreds of thousands. I don't actually know the number.
No, no, probably no one does.
People were queuing at his temple for
Yeah,
days on end
yeah.
Anyway, um, so his prominent sannyasi, he called him his impeccable sannyasi, is Srila Bhaktivedanta Bon Maharaj. Now he's the same age as me. He's 67. He was born January 59. I was born May 59. Um, but I very much regard him as my senior, not because he's 4 months older than me, but actually, he got his economics degree and then he lived in the temple. So he's had topmost association
Mm.
since he was 20 years old.
Mm.
Me, I've been working, old hippie biker, doing my
Sure.
nonsense, getting married, raising children, all the rest
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
But he's been 100% focused,
Mm.
100% devoted. And, the result of that is he shines. And
Mm.
his job is to simply repeat everything that he was told, but
Yeah.
also practice. To
Yes.
practice, it doesn't mean anything if you don't practice.
Yes, yes.
There's a story that a woman takes her son to the guru saying, "Oh, my son is constantly stuffing his face with sweets. He's addicted to eating sweets. Can you help?" And the guru said, "Yeah, come back in a month."
Mm.
And she's like, "Oh, okay.
Mm.
Don't understand why." Anyway,
Mm.
she came back in a month. When she brought her son back a month later, the guru said to the son, "You should stop eating sweets." And she said, "That's great, but why didn't you tell him a month ago?" And the guru said, "A month ago, I was addicted to eating sweets.
Yeah.
I gave them up. So my words wouldn't have carried any potency
Wow.
if I was asking someone to do something that I wasn't myself doing."
Love it.
So if you're asking people to be
Mm-hmm.
celibate, to abstain
Mm.
from drugs, abstain from gambling, abstain from meat eating, if you're not practicing that yourself, it's just hot air. It doesn't mean
You're right.
anything.
Yeah.
And there's thousands of gurus like that, but Sripad Bhaktivedanta Bon Maharaj I've known him since 1991,
Wow.
and I've never seen
Wow.
him put a foot wrong. I mean, he's very
Yeah, man.
simple.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not. He doesn't want to be famous. He doesn't. He just goes from house to house. So he's in Britain for 5 days. He arrives on the 23rd
Yeah. Of
in
June.
Birmingham
Of June, yeah.
of June. Yeah, next week.
Yeah.
So we're prepared. So 5 days in Britain. So it's one day in Birmingham, 3 days at our house in
Wow.
Wales.
Wow.
Then it's one day in Brighton, and then he's off on his travels off to Brazil or Italy
Yeah.
or India, wherever he's going next. So
Now,
he's like,
if anyone's listening, man, if anyone's listening and they wanted to meet him, how would they find out? What's the best way to find out if they wanted to, you know, see him in
he
person?
has a Facebook page called Van Madurium, and that's Vana, second word Madurium, Madhuryam. He's on Facebook.
Yeah.
Um, but if they happen to be in Wales, um, uh, he's at Midroylin Village Hall, a public meeting on the 25th of June, Thursday the 25th. Come along at six in the evening,
Yeah.
and yeah, the meetings are always the same, Giles. We sing for about an hour. We listen to the master speak. He describes the names, form, qualities, pastimes of Krishna for an hour. Um, and then we eat together for an hour. We
Beautiful.
serve prasad, and this isn't just vegetarian food. We're not just vegetarians. That's good to be vegetarian. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, if you don't offer your food to me,
Mm,
you're eating only sin, basically. So we're not doing it for our own enjoyment. Everything we do, it's a training. So your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, you should just offer it all
mm.
to the Lord.
Yes.
And high quality, pure vegetarian food. And then it becomes prasad, which means mercy. So
Yes.
then when you eat that, that actually purifies you. So the mantras purify you. Hearing the Hare Katha, hearing the stories, pastimes of Krishna, that purifies you. And we don't say eating the food, we say honoring the prasad. That
Mm,
purifies you. So the chanting is the most powerful thing. You can chant quietly. That's powerful. I do it every morning for a couple of hours, go for a walk.
mm,
If you chant out loud, that's 100 times more powerful than quiet
mm.
chanting. But if you get together in groups,
Yes.
that's 100 times more powerful than that. So 10,000 times more powerful than quiet chanting.
Wow.
This is Harinam Sankirtan.
Yes.
So when the
Yes.
Lord appeared 500 years ago, he was
Mm.
1486 to 1534 in the mood of Radharani. When he came, they're the same person, but Krishna 5,000 years ago, the situation was somewhat different then. And anyway, basically, circumstances were that there ended up being a massive world war in northern India, and that's where he spoke Bhagavad Gita. So it was a military solution to the world's problems. Basically, he comes to protect the devotees and annihilate the miscreants. But when he came 500 years ago, he came with the mood and complexion of his female half, Radharani.
Mm.
Didn't come with any weapons, or only
No.
one weapon, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And Krishna spoke 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita.
Mm.
Lord Chaitanya condensed that down to 8 verses,
Yes.
the Sri
Yes.
Shikshastakam.
And I read
First
that.
verse,
I read that
the
last
first,
night. You know.
first verse, it just describes the 7 effects of chanting. Chaitadapanamatanam bhavamahadavagni nivapanam shraya karavachandrika vitaranam vichavaju jivanam buddhivaranam pratipadam putamritasvaranam sarvatmasnapanam param vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. And those words in the last line of that verse means he's declaring supreme victory to the congregational chanting of the holy names of the Lord. That's why it's powerful. When I first saw the devotees, I was a dispatch rider in London in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
80s,
Yeah.
and everyone's, they're getting on with their work, but who dances down the street singing?
Come
I
on.
was constantly crossing Oxford
Yeah. I
Street,
bet. Yeah.
and every now and then, I'd see these
You'd
people.
see him
Nobody else is dancing, and
just having a great time in the middle
like
of the day.
back in the 80s, I was making £100 a day. I had me 750. I was Jack the
Oh,
Lad.
Jack the
My
lad.
I thought I was.
£100 a day also kind of sounds that's a lot of money Back in the
Well,
80s.
my
That's
rent,
a lot of
my
money.
I was renting a flat in a bedsit in Greenwich for £37 a week. So, don't ask me. I didn't spend the money on anything sensible, Giles, but I had a lifestyle going
Yeah,
on.
of course, mate. Yeah. It was the
I
80s.
was young, free, and stupid and
Of
single.
course.
So
We all were.
I've calmed down a bit now, but
He's calmed down. Krishna's calmed him down. So you saw the Krishnas and you were like, I want a bit of that. And I think that we all have. I think
yeah,
that we all have seen that and seen that joy. And they're not dancing in the streets because they're drunk on alcohol. They're drunk on the Lord's holy name.
it's their job. They've actually been instructed by Swami Prabhupada. You must go out and chant every day. And, if you do nothing else, chant and distribute this prasad, but especially, he said, distribute my books.
Mm,
So now it was 55 million back in 1977. I believe it's past the billion mark. Now you have Veda Base online. That's VEDA base. You
yeah.
can put any keyword, Veda Base, any keyword, and you will get the wisdom of the ages. I mean,
Wow.
this isn't, Swami Prabhupada wasn't making any of this stuff up. He was simply repeating what the
Mm,
teachers
mm,
before him had taught for
mm.
500 years. And they were all referring back to Bhagavad Gita, Srimad
Mm.
Bhagavatam, from 5,000 years ago.
Sure.
So basically, but they say that this time, so a day in their universal time, a day of Brahma, is 1,000 cycles of the four yugas.
Mm.
Once in that 1,000 cycles, which we're talking 4.5 billion years, once in that 1,000 cycles, um, Krishna comes, and then followed by Chaitanya. They're actually making a
Yes.
movie this year. The Russian devotees are making a movie. It should be out later in the year, just called Chaitanya.
Yeah.
It looks good. I've seen a preview, but it's
Yeah.
not released yet.
God, I love it.
Um, so this
I think
happens
we should have been
once.
in it. They should have called us. We could have been some extras in the background, giving it
Ah!
some. Like why? Like,
Well,
if we
we
can get
we
hold of it, we can get hold of our Russian friends. They need to get me and you in it. I think we look the
yeah,
part.
definitely. Well, we got the right haircuts, Giles.
We got the right
when my
haircuts at least.
when my hair was all falling out when I was 30, I just thought, I pretty much got two choices. I can either go with the Buddhists or the Hare Krishnas. They're both bald.
Yeah.
And I checked out the Buddhists, and they were nice. They had a
Yeah.
nice cafe down in Croydon. They were
That's
lovely
it.
people. But you went up into the temple room, and it was like, oh yeah, there's nothing there really. There's nothing going
Mm,
on.
mm.
Whereas I went to the Krishna temple in Soho Street, and there's these beautiful deities. That's what took my heart. It's
It's a
each to their
beautiful.
own.
It's a beautiful
But
thing. Now I tell
but
you
you know
what,
what?
I tell you what, my
Go
friend.
on.
Right. This is what I'm thinking. Right.
Oh,
Hold on. Just bear with me, right? Bear with me, because I think what we need to do, right? We've shared the wisdom of the great one coming to you and visiting a bit about the Krishna wisdom. Let's do part two, right? So we're going to pause this. So if you want part two, where we're going to talk about it's connected but something completely different in a sense, join in. But just give us that website again where the knowledge is. The
uh,
Veda
Veda
base.
base.
Yeah.
VEDA base. Just
.com.
put in Veda base in Google and then any keyword after that, and
You're
you'll
going to find
have the
it.
wisdom of the ages.
The wisdom of the ages is coming, and more is coming in part two of the